Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, How to be Discovered by Auto Shoppers at the Zero Moment of Truth. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by Dealeron. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Dealeron, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency best known for our search engine optimization, best-in-class customer service, and our award-winning websites. Dealeron was named the top-rated website provider by Driving Sales in 2011, and Dealeron customers were winners of the Spring 2012 Digital Dealer Website Excellence Awards based on website conversion and optimization. Dealeron is so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that we're the only company in the industry to offer a lead guarantee program. Oh yeah, that's right, I said it, a lead guarantee program. So if you want to find out more about that and us, check us out at dealeron.com. And we have such a great show in store for you today. Very, very pleased to have Eli Romberg as our presenter today. Eli Romberg is a strategic partner manager on the Automotive Channel Sales team for North America at Google. Romberg has over 5 years' experience in online advertising and possesses an innate passion for Internet technologies and digital solutions. He's responsible for providing automotive partners with scalable business solutions to further develop dealer advertising strategies. And he shares in-depth market analysis and has helped both partners and dealers maximize their investment with Google AdWords. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we're going to answer those questions of general interest. And if we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we're going to respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of the webinar recording will be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. And guess what? I am so excited about this. Our friends at Google are offering up some prizes today for you, our dear attendees. Oh, that's right. So, if you're not looking at the screen right now, do so now and write down this address. All you have to do is go to the Dealeron Google Plus page and answer a simple question. The address is on the screen. Go now, or write it down and go a little bit later, but go soon. The question is, what is your creative solution to get in front of shoppers at the zero moment of truth? Give us a decent answer. It's got to be a decent answer. Give us an answer, and you'll be winning some Google swag today. And for that, we have Eli Romberg to thank. So let's get started. Let's meet Eli and learn about how to be discovered by auto shoppers at the zero moment of truth. Eli Romberg, I am so excited that you're here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you, Eliana. I really appreciate that kind intro, and thanks for hosting me for this webinar today. Super excited to be talking to you all today.
I am very, very excited because I know when you and I had discussed earlier about ZMOT and all the great things that Google is doing, the fact that they even did the research and put the whole ZMOT thing together is fantastic, and I know dealers got a lot out of it. But the remaining question was, okay, so now we have all this great information. What do we do with it? And so that's how you came up with this great idea for a webinar. So tell us, what are we going to be learning today?
Excellent. So what I was really looking to share with you guys today during this presentation is the following. I'm going to start off by reviewing the concept of ZMOT, zero moment of truth, or in our case, the zero moment of automotive truth. I'm sure many of you, as Eliana just mentioned, are familiar with the concept by now, but for the benefit of those who are not, I'll try to quickly bring you up to speed. Next, I plan on highlighting some of the key trends that are driving the change of today's consumer behavior. And then finally, translating theory into action, I'll present a couple of solutions that I see as great opportunities for you all to get in front of the auto consumers and win the zero moment of truth. Here I'll provide a step-by-step guide on how to set up and launch mobile targeted and video for AdWords campaigns. And at the end of my presentation, as Eliana mentioned, time permitting, I will try to address some of your questions. So let's begin.
Yes, and everyone, I just want you to know, this is filled with so much great information. It is being recorded. I don't want you to miss anything, but this is going to be a full hour of fabulous information. So Eli, take it away. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So I always love opening with this slide and this really great question. How do you break through? And what I mean by this is that we know that today's car shoppers use more information sources than ever before. In fact, the average car shopper uses 18.2 information sources to make the decision. In comparison, people only use 14.7 information sources for choosing their president and 10.2 information sources for planning a vacation. So obviously, car shopping, very important decision. Moreover, younger car shoppers are using even more information sources, an average of 25.6 sources. And this really poses the question, if this is in fact the case, and the data is showing that it is, how is the average dealer supposed to break through and connect with potential customers? And that is really the core of today's presentation. As a dealer, as an advertiser, how do you win today's car shopper? Enter the concept of zero moment of truth. The quick answer to this question is, and this is the Google research has shown, that dealers who can win the zero moment of truth will win shoppers over the long term, while dealers sticking with the same status quo will be left behind. And so what is the zero moment of truth, and what does it really mean to win it? That's what we're going to talk about today. And so let me first start by explaining. 10 to 20 years ago, car shopping looked like this. A person would decide to buy a car because he experienced some kind of stimulus. Maybe they saw a car ad on TV, or maybe the previous car broke down. However, because research options were limited, car shoppers relied heavily on advice from friends and family to decide which dealer to buy from. In some cases, car shoppers may have used some resources such as consumer reports or other guidebooks to inform their purchase decision. But at the end of the day, little research was done between the moment a person decided to buy a car and at the moment that they actually walked into the dealership. The moment then that the consumer walked into the dealership is considered the first moment of truth. In this moment, the consumer surveys the dealership, whether it's clean, whether he likes the models on the floor, whether a dealer provided a good service, and so forth. If the customer ends up having a great experience and buys the car from the dealership, he experiences the second moment of truth, in which he goes home and then raves about his experience to all his friends and family. However, with the introduction of the internet, a new stage has entered the car shopping process, and this is what we call the zero moment of truth. This moment is characterized by all the online research the shopper performs before selecting which dealership to visit. In the new car shopping model, a shopper might experience a similar stimulus as before, or maybe this time around they saw an online video that provoked them to start their research online. Now this is where the concept of zero moment of truth comes into play. During the zero moment of truth, the shopper performs a variety of searches. He visits research and review sites, seeks information on social networking sites, and watches online videos about cars. This research phase is what we refer to as the zero moment of truth, or ZMOT. Now based on all this online research, the car shopper will then go into the dealership, which again is considered the first moment of truth. However, in this moment, the car shopper is validating whether the dealership experience actually reflects all the research they have completed online. And lastly, once the shopper buys the car, they again go home and they'll often share their experience online, which then feeds into the next person's zero moment of truth. So that is the concept of ZMOT. However, to understand how to win the zero moment of truth, it's really important that we first understand the trends that are driving this change in consumer behavior. And so the drivers, and we'll talk about each one of these in a little bit more detail, are as follows. First of all, car shopping starts and ends online. Second, devices are proliferating exponentially. Thirdly, 95% of time online is not actually spent searching. And finally, video is the most engaging ad format. So let's take a closer look at the first trend. Car shopping starts and ends online. So ZMOT is founded on the fact that the internet has become the most used and useful car shopping tool. And to back up this claim, research has shown that 90% of car shoppers start their research online. That is, once they get the moment of stimulus, whether it's an online or offline, nearly all car shoppers, 9 out of 10 of them, are turning to the internet to make their decision. Even more compelling is the fact that half of all car shoppers end up deciding where to buy their new car based on this research about potential dealers online. As such, if you want to win the zero moment of truth, it is critical that your dealership owns its presence online to make sure shoppers come to you rather than go to the competition. And lastly, car shoppers are sharing their dealer experience after they purchase as well. And in fact, 40% of car shoppers have shared their car shopping experience on a social networking site, which, as we mentioned earlier, can feed into the next person's zero moment of truth. But with this change in consumer behavior, not only are people spending more time online, but their time spent online is on more devices than ever. With smartphones and tablets, devices are proliferating exponentially. And the adoption rate of connected devices is really unprecedented, with mobile devices being one of the fastest growing technologies of all time. What's even more amazing is how quickly these devices become essential to our lives. And if we look at how long it took some of these other types of media to reach 50 million users, we can see that this pace is only accelerating. So for instance, it took radio 38 years to reach 50 million users. It took TV 13 years. The internet reached 50 million users within only 4 years. And the iPhone hit that same 50 million users within 3 years. The tablets hit that number within less than 2 years. So pretty fantastic and really amazing kind of growth. Last year, in fact, the CTIA found that there are more mobile devices than people in the US. And to add a little bit more context here, 3 times as many smartphones are being activated every minute around the world than there are actually babies. So I'm not sure what you do with that piece of information, but it's pretty unbelievable.
Good to know.
Absolutely. And then the movement is more, not just a national movement, but it's a global movement. And from essentially zero 25 years ago, there are now over 5 billion mobile devices in use. Furthermore, 1 billion people use their mobile devices as their primary internet access point in 2012. And just a couple last little nuggets here. The number of mobile devices is expected to exceed the world's population this year. So it means we're going to have more mobile phones than actual people on this planet. And vehicle shopping isn't immune from this mobile boom. And according to the 2011 Automotive Buy Flow study completed by Google Compete and Polk Research, 25% of auto shoppers use their mobile device during the beginning, middle, and end of the auto shopping process. And now, how are these 25% of auto shoppers using their mobile devices throughout the shopping process? Well, primarily car shoppers are using search engines on their mobile phones. They're also researching vehicles on manufacturer websites, third-party sites, review sites, and a number of other sites, making it much more crucial for dealers to master their online presence on mobile. And I think I made my point by now, but to drive it home just a little bit further, I wanted to share a couple more tidbits. The first being that not only is the number of mobile devices increasing at a rapid pace, but so are the searches on mobile devices. And so as you can see from this graph here, over the past 2 years, the number of mobile queries has actually increased 5-fold. And when we talk about mobile auto-specific, we're actually seeing a 38% increase in vehicle shopping queries from mobile devices. And lastly, not only are people leveraging their mobile devices to do their research, but after looking up local information on their smartphones, 77% of people contacted the business or visited either by a visit to the dealership or by a phone call to the dealership. And 88% of those individuals took that action the same very day they did their research, clearly illustrating how mobile is a critical tool for driving consumers to your dealership. Now going back to the third ZMOT trend that states that 95% of time online is not spent searching. So while search is a critical tool during the car shopping process, shoppers are doing so much more than just searching. In fact, 95% of the time online is not spent searching. So what this means is that if your digital marketing is wholly focused on search, you're missing out on a ton of potential customers that are out there. And supporting this is the Google ZMOT study, where we examined when shoppers used search and how influential it was to their buying experience. And what we found, beyond just this very confusing graph, was that car shoppers use search the most and find it the most valuable 1 to 3 months before the actual purchase. Now, given the fact that most car shoppers are in market for, we say between 3 and 12 months, search may not always be the best tool to reach them. And instead, a great solution for dealers is to leverage display advertising paired with search in order to win the zero moment of truth. To further support this, studies on display advertising find that it amplifies search both for branding and direct response goals. So display increases unaided brand recall by over 20%, and it increases the likelihood to visit a brand's website and the likelihood to purchase by 8%. Our last ZMOT trend is that video is the most engaging ad format for car shoppers. Now, traditionally, dealers have relied on manufacturers to develop all these enticing online video content. Yet, there are a few innovative dealers that have found immense success with online video ads, making online video advertising another critical step for winning the zero moment of truth. Excuse me. It is for this reason that I will talk you through how you can create and set up your own video advertising campaigns in just a few minutes. But first, I will attempt to play a really cool compilation of car-related videos from YouTube that I'm hoping to place, that hopefully will play smoothly on your computers, that really helps demonstrate how car shopping has always been an emotional buying process, and that online video brings that emotion to life for car shoppers. So let's give this a shot.
Viva USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you.
This is the Motor City. This is what we do.
The economy's great. Let's build $1 million supercar.
I'm going to drive this car through that burning building while holding this ice cream.
That was great, Eli. That's really great.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did the first time I saw that video.
I love it. I love the Swagger Wagon. Everyone loves the Swagger Wagon. And everyone loved that commercial with the little Darth Vader.
Yep, absolutely. And so, beyond just talking to our emotional side, car shoppers have fully embraced online video. And bear with me, please, while I throw a whole bunch of stats at you that support this claim. And so, 80% of car shoppers watch at least one online video during their shopping process. And 1 out of every 2 shoppers watches 30 minutes or more of online video during their shopping process. With, again, about 52% of car shoppers find online video ads most useful during their shopping process. And 40% of car shoppers decide which company to buy from based on these online video ads. And lastly, 30% of car shoppers were prompted to start shopping by seeing an online video ad. What even more surprising is that despite all these numbers and telling statistics, very few dealerships are taking advantage of this online media in their digital marketing strategy. Okay, so we talked about, for the past 20 minutes or so, about how consumer behavior has changed over the course of the past decade or two, and how auto shoppers are spending more and more time than ever before doing their homework before choosing the dealership they walk into and what car they want to buy. We saw how a significant number and growing portion of this research is being conducted on mobile devices, such as smartphones and tablets, and why it's not enough just to focus your digital advertising efforts on search alone. But I didn't want to just leave you with those thoughts, but rather I really wanted to give you specific guidance on how your dealership can harness digital marketing to win the zero moment of truth. More specifically, and as I mentioned on the onset of the webinar, I will walk you through the steps required to set up mobile targeted AdWords campaigns, as well as share a recently revamped YouTube video advertising product now integrated directly and seamlessly into AdWords. And so let's start with mobile. And maybe over here, Eliana, really quickly, would it be possible to poll the audience and see how many of them are already running mobile-only campaigns?
You bet. Let's do that right now. So everyone who's on the line right now, if you could please look at your computer screen. We have a poll question for you. Eli would like your feedback. So the question on the screen is, do you currently run mobile-only campaigns? So please select one of the following options. You bet I do, not quite yet, and I didn't know I was supposed to. So once we get a majority of the votes in, we'll turn it around, close the poll, and share the results. And we'll see what everyone else on the webinar is doing right now. I also want to remind the audience that our dear friend Eli from Google, thank you so much for being here again, Eli, because I'm so stoked that you're here, is going to be doing another webinar for us specifically on mobile strategies, and that'll be on July 12th. So I wanted to make sure you had that in your calendar. July 12th, if you want to know more about mobile strategies, Eli's the one who's going to tell us what the heck we should be doing. Right, Eli?
Absolutely. Definitely looking forward to that presentation as well.
Great. Well, we have some interesting results. I don't know if it's what you were expecting, but here we go. A majority of the people have voted, and we're going to share those results right now. Eli, can you see this?
I cannot.
Ah, okay. Well, let me tell you what the rest of the crowd is seeing. 22% of our attendees today voted, you bet I do. 56% of people said not quite yet, and 22% of people said, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Excellent. Well, first of all, thank you very much, all of you, for casting your vote. I think those of you that are already doing this, that's really fantastic, and I don't know if, and I'll talk you through the reasons of why it's so important to do this, and hopefully they'll just validate the reasons why you went ahead and created these campaigns. For those of you who aren't familiar with the concept or don't understand the value of it, that's what I really hope to share with you in the next few slides, as well as also show you how you actually go about executing this.
Excellent.
All right. So when we talk about a mobile strategy here at Google, one of the first things we stress is the importance of creating mobile-only campaigns. And what I mean by this is as follows. As you, of course, or should know, in order to reach the auto shoppers that are searching on their mobile devices, you have the ability to create an AdWords campaign that is served specifically to mobile devices being smartphones and tablet devices. However, most campaigns today, by default, are opted in to serve not only on mobile devices, but also on desktop and laptop computers. So basically, when you set up a campaign, by default, it's being targeted at all device types. So why is this bad? Well, it's not bad per se, but rather there is a missed opportunity with this type of campaign structure. Rather, we strongly advise advertisers to break out their campaigns and create campaigns that are solely targeted at desktop and laptop computers, and then campaigns that are only targeted at mobile devices. The benefits of this setup structure, as you can see on the slide, are fivefold. And I'm going to talk about each one of these in a little bit more detail. And so for starters, and perhaps the most compelling argument for creating mobile-only campaigns is that we've seen that advertisers who split out their campaigns and created mobile-only campaigns benefited, on average, from an 11.5% increase in their mobile click-through rates. So not for any of the other benefits that I'll talk to you in a minute, this should alone drive you to create mobile-targeted campaigns. But one of the other benefits of breaking out your mobile from your desktop campaigns is that by doing so, you're giving yourself so much more control of your bids and budgets for your mobile efforts. And I'll elaborate on this point. Budgets are set at the campaign level. So if you're running hybrid campaigns, again, being campaigns that are targeted to serve both on mobile devices as well as the desktop and laptop computers, the budget that you set is a single budget for all those devices. And why is this not ideal? Well, let's say, for example, that you notice that more and more traffic to your website is coming from mobile devices, or that it converts better for you. To this end, you want to increase your advertising on mobile devices. But now if your ads are sharing that same budget across all those platforms and devices, you can't effectively increase your budget for mobile advertising without also increasing your computer-targeted ads budgets. So by separating out these campaigns, you can, in this example, increase the budget for your mobile-only campaigns without affecting your spend on your desktop ads. And this goes the same for bids. On desktop computers, as you're probably familiar, there are up to 11 ad units that are eligible to serve on every search result page. However, on mobile devices, it's limited to only 5 ads. and only 2 of them are effectively above the fold and are clearly visible to users that are surfing the internet on their mobile devices. And so for mobile devices, you might want to have or set a more aggressive bid on your mobile campaigns to really try to ensure placement in those top 2 and most effective ad unit spots. Now, without having to, when you have the campaigns separated, you could do so without unnecessarily increasing your bids on your desktop campaigns. So I think that's really a very significant benefit for splitting these out as well. The third benefit of breaking out mobile campaigns is that in this manner you can tailor your ads and keyword lists to be more mobile suited. And for instance, when running mobile ads, you really want to highlight that your ad is customized for the mobile experience. Using a call to action such as check out our mobile website or download our mobile app today would draw the attention of the mobile user. Also, mobile queries tend to be shorter in nature than the long tail queries entered in by desktop users. For instance, on a mobile device, you don't have a very useful keyboard, and sometimes it's a lot harder to type in queries or longer ones, so you keep it nice and concise. So to this end, splitting out your campaigns would allow you to create a separate keyword list that is more in line with the mobile user behavior. The fourth reason to separate your mobile campaign is for you to be able to take full advantage of the great mobile ad extensions. Ad extensions are a great way for you to not only enhance your ad with additional functionality, such as providing map directions or the ability to call your dealership directly from within the ad unit, but they also help your ads stand out from the rest of the ads on the result pages. And again, there's very limited room on these mobile pages. You really want to draw the attention to your mobile ad. So if you have these enhanced ads with these additional features and functionality that look different from the other traditional ads, you really help draw the attention of the user and get them to click on these ads. And in fact, we saw that ads leveraging these ad extensions have seen on average an uplift of anywhere between 7 to 30% on their click-through rates. And lastly, by separating out your mobile efforts from your desktop efforts, you can pull device-specific reports, which will then allow you to get better insights into how each device is performing, independent of the other devices. And this, in return, will allow you to better optimize your campaigns, set smarter bids and budgets, write more effective ad copy, and select better performing keywords, because you know what works better for each device. So what you're seeing on desktop might not be the same learnings that you'll see for your mobile campaigns. So hopefully you now understand the value of creating mobile-only campaigns. Next, I wanted to talk you through the steps how to execute this. So there are 2 ways to accomplish this, and the first option I'm going to walk you through is creating brand new campaigns and targeting them to mobile-only devices. And to do so, all you need to do is open up your AdWords account and simply click on New Campaign and select Search and Display Network. Next, give your campaign a descriptive name that will help you later identify it as being targeted to mobile-only devices. Now, for the most critical step, under the device setting, select the radio box that reads, Let me choose. Then, unselect desktop and laptop computers, leaving only the mobile devices and tablet options selected. Next, continue to configure your campaign setting in a similar fashion to the way you would always set up a regular traditional campaign. Set your location targeting and define your bids and budgets. Now, as I mentioned earlier, one of the advantages of creating mobile-only campaigns is that you can really go ahead and set up mobile ad extensions. Now, under the ad extensions, first choose location. You'll see there are many different options, and fill in your dealership's physical address. Next, select call to set up your call extensions. And what this is that by entering your dealership's phone number, your ad will now be eligible to serve with your business phone number embedded within the ad. By simply clicking on the number, it will automatically trigger the phone dialer and prompt the user to call your business. And lastly, select site links and proceed to configure your site links. Now, site links are additional links that may be served as part of your ad unit, giving the users more destinations from your site to choose from. Site link extensions have proven to be one of the most effective ad extensions in increasing click-through rates to your website. Now, after you've done all this, all you really have left to do is upload your keyword list and ad copy, and you're ready to run your ads on mobile devices. One final step in the process, though, is to go back to your other desktop-targeted campaigns and opt them out from serving on mobile devices. You can do so by selecting the campaign that you want to modify, go to the device settings, and unselecting the mobile and tablet devices. So pretty straightforward. But this isn't always necessarily a scalable solution. If you're running an account with multiple campaigns, going ahead and creating new campaigns one by one is not always the most efficient way to go about things. So the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is how do you clone existing campaigns and then set these up to be targeted to mobile-only devices. And so the example I'm going to walk you through is leveraging a tool called AdWords Editor. Now, AdWords Editor, for those of you who are not familiar, is a free tool provided by Google that you can download to your computer, and it really allows you to manage bulk operations in your accounts in a very efficient manner. And so after you've downloaded the program and you open it up for the first time, and you put in your account identification number and password, it'll prompt you to download your campaigns from your account into the AdWords Editor. Now here you have two options. You could either select all the campaigns, download all the campaigns that exist in your AdWords account into AdWords Editor, or you could select specific campaigns that you want to work with. Once the campaigns download in the AdWords Editor, select the campaigns you want to clone. So we choose these two campaigns in this example. Click the right button on your mouse and select Copy from the drop-down menu. Then paste the campaign into your account by clicking the right mouse button again, and this time selecting Paste. As you can see, there's now duplicate accounts within your AdWords Editor interface. Now, to avoid confusion with the original set of campaigns, rename the campaigns by clicking on the campaign you wish to rename and edit the campaign name field. Next, change the device targeting option by selecting the new campaigns and clicking Edit under the Devices option. Then you'll notice a drop-down menu and unselect desktop and laptop computers and press OK. So again, you're setting up these new campaigns to only serve on mobile devices. Next, go back and select your original campaigns and repeat the process by clicking Edit under the device options and unselecting mobile and tablets. Then the last step in the process is to post your changes. So this is very important that you don't forget this step. It's not a live interface, so you download the campaigns, you make changes to them, and then you have to push out these changes back into your AdWords account. And you do so by going to the account at the top of your screen and clicking Post Changes. And voila, you're done. And as I promised, a quick and easy method of cloning and creating mobile-only campaigns.
Eli, no one
Yes.
has ever shown us that. Okay, I'm speaking for myself. No one's ever shown me that. And I don't know if a lot of people on the audience feel the same way, or if they've ever seen that themselves. So thank you so much for that very concise step-by-step walkthrough on how to do that. I know that the audience is really appreciating it.
Absolutely. I hope that was helpful, and perhaps if we ever ran this a similar poll again, we would see the number of 78% of people that aren't currently running mobile-only campaigns decrease, and that 22% really grow.
That would be nice.
We're doing these mobile-only campaigns, and we'd really love to see people start, shifting some of their campaigns into this new account structure.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually have, for instance, my dear friend AJ, he wrote in, he did see it once, but not as precise as that, so thank you very much. So, yeah, I'm not the only one who's very impressed so far by what you've shown, so thank you so much. What else do you have to show us?
Excellent. So first of all, happy that was helpful. So next, you know, you should all be experts now in creating mobile-only campaigns, and you have the tools and the know-how how to do that. But now, if you remember earlier, we talked about how video was the most engaging ad format for car shoppers, and I shared a variety of compelling stats that talk to the effectiveness of video advertising. So the next exciting opportunity that I wanted to share with you today is around a new advertising product that Google recently released called Google AdWords for Video. What this product is basically a convergence of YouTube video advertising into the AdWords platform that you're all very familiar with. So maybe before we jump into this, again, Ileana, it would be great if we could run another quick poll asking our audience how many of them today create videos of their dealerships or of their cars in their dealership and post them on YouTube.
That's a great idea. Let's do that. Okay, everyone, we need your help yet again. Eli's looking for some information. We want to make sure he gets all the information he has. We can keep giving us some great information. So please, if you would, look at your screen and answer the question before you. And it is, do you currently create videos of your dealership and post them on YouTube? And please select one of the following options. Yes, of course I do. I've been thinking about it, or no, not yet. And the votes are coming in fast and furious, and we do appreciate all of your feedback very, very much. So thank you so much for having that roll in. And we're going to close the poll in just a couple more seconds. Hopefully we can get a few more votes in. Eli, a majority has already voted. I just want to see if more people will come. And, okay, let's close the poll and share the results. You're going to like this one. 80% of our attendees today answered, yes, of course I do. 16% said, I've been thinking about it. And 4% said, no, not yet. So I hope that helps, Eli. What do you think about those results?
Oh, that's fantastic. And you know, when I talk to other, you know, vendors out there and talk about the opportunity of YouTube, well, one of the key challenges is always, you know, from an objection standpoint, is that dealers don't collect video assets from their dealerships. They don't videotape their dealerships and their cars on the lot and the shopping experience and stuff like that. So to hear that 80% of the audience today is in fact creating videos and posting them to YouTube is really phenomenal, and that's great news, and will really make the opportunity that I'm about to share a whole lot more interesting to you folks out there.
Agreed, agreed. Good job. Thank you, everyone, for your votes. And Eli, let's turn it back over to you.
Excellent. So just to talk about the opportunity here and size it up, I just want to share some really interesting stats about YouTube. And so first, and this shouldn't come as a surprise, is YouTube is the #1 online video site. So when you're thinking about all those users who are searching and viewing and watching video content online, it's a very good chance that they're doing so from a YouTube property. Now the second stat here, or second bullet point here that many people don't know, is that YouTube is in fact the second largest search engine right after Google. That's right. So there's Google, then there's YouTube, and then there are other search engines and decision engines out there. The third point is that over 5 billion videos are watched every single day. That is absolutely incredible number. And I presented a very similar presentation just under a year ago, and the number that I had in my deck back then was 3 billion. So in less than a year, it has increased 66%, or 2 billion additional video streams per day, which is phenomenal. And so when we talked earlier about how 95% of online activity is done outside of search, a good portion is probably these guys watching 5 billion videos a day. And lastly, in the U.S. alone, YouTube receives nearly 150 million unique U.S. Visitors per month. But who are all these users and what exactly are they watching? And so back in the early days of YouTube, I think there was a wide perception that YouTube was primarily kids that were just using YouTube as a source of entertainment. You know, people were looking, or kids were looking to watch cats falling off pianos, unfamous then Justin Bieber singing and questionable figures marveling over double rainbows. But today, while entertainment really remains a large part of YouTube, people flock to YouTube for a whole new variety of purposes. They go to YouTube to get their news fix. Politicians are leveraging it to deliver their speeches. Businesses are showing off their products and services. Do-it-yourself and home improvement videos have really become pretty popular, along with a whole plethora of videos that are beyond entertainment just for the sake of entertainment. Now, if you look at the demographics of the users, we're no longer just talking about kids watching videos, but rather the vast majority of YouTube consumers are in fact adults between the ages of 18 and 54. And they also represent a pretty even split between the genders as well. Another interesting and somewhat misguided perception is that YouTube users are just passively watching videos. But the opposite is in fact the truth. They're actually a very engaged community with users taking social action in the forms of video likes and video sharing and leaving comments and feedback. And so they're doing all this additional activity and engaging with the content they're watching beyond just sitting idly and watching the video content. But while YouTube for a while now has proven to be a great opportunity for advertisers, there were many challenges in the way, both from a business model perspective as well as from a platform perspective, that made it really difficult for businesses to advertise on YouTube. And so to make it a lot easier for business owners and marketers to launch and manage successful YouTube campaigns, just a short while ago, I think maybe in the last month or 6 weeks or so, Google announced the release of Google AdWords for video. And that is what I wanted to really share with you today.
Google AdWords for video. That's great. I didn't even, I don't know if many of our listeners even knew that there was such an announcement.
Yeah, no, this was a beta program that we were running for a while, very limited audience, very limited availability, but we just recently, as I mentioned, launched it and now becoming to the wider public. And I'm just trying to do my job in evangelizing this great opportunity for you guys. I really think it is a prime opportunity for dealerships to enter this new marketplace today, given the fact that it's brand new, it's not saturated, the costs are low, and far more favorable than, for instance, the saturated search market. So just another outlet, again, when we talk about winning the zero moment of truth and how the audiences, the car shoppers, are doing a whole lot more than just search, and that video is an emotional sell. I think really this is a great opportunity today.
Agreed, especially.
And that's why I'm so excited to be talking about it.
Agreed, especially considering that we just found out 80% of the people on this webinar today are doing video. So why wouldn't they do this? This is fantastic. Tell us more. Precisely.
So with this launch, we introduced a couple things. We introduced a new ad format and a new bidding model. And this bidding model is now a pay-per-view model. And what this model means is that the advertiser, you guys, only pay when the consumer chooses to watch your video. So if in the past there was a lot of concern in videos that, just a lot of wasted impressions, people are not really watching our video ads, but yet we have to, pay per 1,000 impressions and stuff like that. Right now, with this new business model, you only pay when a consumer chooses to watch your particular video. And we'll talk about, and right now on the screen you see the 4 different ad formats under this new business model, but I'll discuss each one in a little bit more detail. So the first ad format is TrueView InStream. And TrueView InStream ads are ads that play as pre, mid, or post-roll on YouTube partner videos. So basically, a user would come to watch a video content of whatever he actually came and wanted to watch on YouTube. This ad unit plays for 5 seconds at the beginning, middle, or end of that video, and the viewer can choose after 5 seconds whether he wants to continue watching the video or if he wants to skip it. The advertiser is only charged for the view when the viewer watches 30 seconds of the video or watches it to completion, whatever is shorter. So by continuing to watch the video and not clicking that skip the ad now option, the viewer is really confirming to the advertiser that they're interested in learning more about the product or learning more about the service or more about the dealership, and therefore they're not skipping the ad. So again, if the user watched the full at least 30 seconds or the full video, if it's less than 30 seconds, then and only then is the advertiser actually charged for that video view. The second new ad format is called TrueView InStream. So earlier we talked about how YouTube is the second largest most popular search engine after Google. And so a lot of searches are being conducted on YouTube, and these ads are served against these search results. And so as a user performs a search on YouTube, in the example here for forward-focused reviews, in-search ads appear on the YouTube search result page above or next to the YouTube's regular search results. So with this ad unit, the advertiser only pays when the viewers click on your video and begin to watch it. Again, there's a clear indication from the user that they're interested in watching your video content, and therefore only then are you charged for it. The third new ad format is called TrueView Display. TrueView Display ads appear next to videos on YouTube watch page. So basically, as users are watching other video content on YouTube, in this example, a video of a guy talking about the Chevy Volt 2012 and providing a review, on the right-hand side, you will see suggestions of additional videos to choose from. On the top of that list is going to be an ad, which is a TrueView Display ad unit. And again, the advertiser pays only when viewers click on your video and begin to watch that video. And then the final format is TrueView in Slate. And so as of a short while ago, YouTube now allows certain content owners to upload content that exceeds 10 minutes. So the TrueView in Slate is served against video content that is longer than 10 minutes. And when you try and watch this type of content, you're given a few different options. Option number one is you're given 3 different ads that you could choose to watch. Alternatively, you could just watch the regular commercial breaks during the video. And so again, there's 3 options of ad videos to watch, and if the consumer or the viewer chooses your video, then and only then are you as an advertiser charged for that view. But beyond just the new ad formats and the pay-per-view model, AdWords for Video also introduced a new platform by which you can create and manage the videos. So Google AdWords for Video closely mimics the AdWords product and platform that you've all grown to love so much. I hope that's the sentiment. I don't know if you love it or not, but it's a very familiar platform that you should be accustomed to working in. So no longer a separate platform, a separate different way of managing campaigns. This is very similar and mimics your AdWords campaigns. And it boasts, in fact, many of the same capabilities as search. So you can easily create and manage video campaigns. You can pull detailed reporting. You have all the same targeting options that you have with search are also available for this new video ad format. So how do you get started? Well, getting started with video ads has never really been any easier, and I'll talk you through these steps one by one. So as the first step, within AdWords, you simply link your YouTube account to your AdWords account. Once you do this, all the video assets that you have uploaded in your YouTube account are loaded into AdWords. So by creating that connection, when you go ahead and create your YouTube campaign, your Google AdWords for Video campaign, you'll have all your videos on your YouTube channel available for you to select. Then all you have to do is create a new campaign, set the bids, budgets, targeting, keywords, and so forth, and you're all set to go. And we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail. So getting started is pretty simple, as I mentioned. Directly within your AdWords account, you simply click on New Campaign. Then select Online Video. Once an online video campaign has been created, an All Video Campaigns link will appear on the left-hand navigation. So then when you want to come back into your account and add more campaigns, this is where you'll find all your video campaigns by selecting All Video Campaigns on the left-hand navigation side over there. So you went ahead and you created a new video campaign. You'll be prompted to find a handful of settings very similar to your AdWords account, your regular traditional AdWords campaign. So settings such as location targeting, your bids, your budgets, and so forth. Notice, again, very similar to what you're already familiar with in AdWords. So once you create this campaign and set all the campaign level settings, you create your video ad. Now in YouTube, your ad consists of a couple of different components. One of them is your video itself, and you're able to select this from the repository of videos that you have on your YouTube account if you link your YouTube account to your AdWords account. You have the ad text, you have thumbnails, and you have optional companion unit. And so following the simple flow on the screen, you go ahead and you select these components. You select the video you want to use, you enter in the text that will occasionally accompany your video ad in certain formats, and you select the thumbnails that you want to have present. Next, you'll be prompted to select which ad format you want your ad to serve in and across which networks. Now, your TrueView ads can run InStream, InSearch, InDisplay, and InSlate, as we just talked about. Now, depending on the format that you select, the ads will be eligible to show on either YouTube Search, YouTube Videos, and sites on the Google Display Network. And as you make your selection of what kind of format you want, which network you want to serve on, we'll automatically adjust the settings to the format and network eligibility. But from our recommendation is, as to not miss out on any views, we really recommend to keep the default setting, which is to run against all 4 TrueView ad formats. And the reasoning for this is really pretty simple. For one, you want to reach as many prospective customers as possible by ensuring your videos appear whenever viewers are watching, searching, browsing YouTube videos and websites across the Google Display Network. So really you don't want to limit your reach across these networks. And second, when you are opted into all 4 formats, you really have the ability to track performance of each format individually and then discover which ad format performs best in meeting your marketing goals. So from the onset, you might not have an idea of whether InSearch or in Display works better for your business's needs. However, if you do let it run on all 4 formats for a short while, gain that data, you can then analyze it and determine which works best for you. But at the end of the day, the last benefit of really running across all 4 is it's a default setting and it performs pretty well. And then really the last thing that you have left to do before you could set your video ads live is create your targeting group. Now, a targeting group is a set of targeting criteria and cost per view bids that apply to all the ads within your campaign. Now, a targeting group can contain search keywords, display network keywords, YouTube videos, YouTube channels, GDN placements, topics, demographics, and interests. We talked about how there's a lot of parity in the settings that are available on your video campaigns as you have in your AdWords campaign. So all those different types of targeting options that you have available in AdWords campaigns are also available in your video campaigns as well. And the intersection of all those targetings that you select in a single targeting group will determine the targeting of that group. And you have a nice little Venn diagram here that sort of shows you, demonstrates the targeting selection that you have made. And that's pretty much it. You're ready to slate your first video campaigns. And really, I think that's great, not only because you have all these videos already out there, and this is just another way to get in front of these advertisers, but from what we've found is that YouTube video ads, drive a 20% increase in traffic to your website. So people watch the video and then end up on your website. And 5% increase in searches for your business. So after watching your videos, they might come and do a direct search for your business. So I think really a lot of great value in creating these new campaigns, especially since you already have the assets created and you're already posting them on YouTube. And that really concludes my presentation for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was a good use of your time. And most importantly, I really hope that you walk away today with a better understanding of how you and your dealerships can win this 0 moment of truth, or 0 moment of automotive truth.
Eli, that was spectacular. I'm the only one who can clap because I'm the only one that can hear you, but I'm clapping for you, okay? I do want to tell you, we had Mike Hastings wrote in, and he wanted to say, great webinar. And I also wanted to tell you, Gordon Gibbs wrote in, and he said, very informative. I like the how-to aspect. And we do have some questions to get to. So I know that we have the question and answer set up really soon, and we don't have a lot of time, so I do want to get to as many questions as possible. Right before we do that, however, I do want to let you know that we did have some people go to Google+, like I had asked them to at the very beginning of the webinar, And they answered the question that we'd post on our Google Plus page, which was, what's your creative solution to get in front of shoppers at the zero moment of truth? Eli, you ready to hear some of these answers?
I am.
All right, so Janelle, oh my gosh, how do you say your last name? Yutzerzenka. Let's go with that. She said, video campaign of customers and posting on Facebook, Google Plus, and websites. Brent McKenzie wrote in and said, taking consistent photos and arranging them in the same order every time. Customers become familiar with our inventory through the familiar feel of knowing what comes next. In addition, combining the photos with video for them to give the customer a walk-around tour and then the ability to look inside the vehicle. That's a pretty good one. Thank you, Brent. And Mike Hastings wrote in, like Brent, we pay close attention to how we present our vehicles online, but our primary ZMOT focus is Google Places, Google Plus Local. And I think I have one more in here. Adam wrote in, and he said, be, as in be seen, be heard, be there. There you go.
Yeah.
And AJ,
Exactly this. Yep.
Go ahead, Eli.
I was just going to say that that's exactly what we preach at Google, all those B's. So,
Excellent.
Great job.
Excellent. And AJ wrote in, he says, I'm looking to win on mobile devices and in video. So there you go. We had 5 really, really great responses to the Google Plus question. So without further ado, well, first of all, before we even get any further, if anyone else has a great response to the Google Plus question, please go to Dealeron's Google Plus page and give us your answers, and we'll give you a shout out as well. So, Eli, you ready for?
Really quickly, do we have these folks as contact information so we could go ahead and send them out some of those really great Google gifts?
You know what? We don't have their. We do have their phone number, email address, and their dealership information. So I'm pretty sure we can figure it out. Well, I'll get all that information over to you. You 5 so far have won some Google swag from our dear friend Eli Romberg at Google. So congratulations. Anyone else want to get in on the fun? Go right now to Google+. Eli, we do have some really great questions that came in if you're ready.
Absolutely.
You ready? Hunker down. Here we go. Okay, AJ wrote in, Eli, do you consider video pre-roll as online video advertising?
Oh, absolutely. I think that was one of the 4 ad formats that we talked about, and those are the TrueView InStream video format. Very effective. I think with InStream videos and the pre-rolls specifically, it's really important to try to put the message and make it as enticing as possible within the first few seconds of the video. By doing so, you really get the chance to entice, I would say, the user to continue to watch your video through completion. If you keep all the good stuff for the end, you sort of might lose their attention. They might click that skip the ad button. But if you have really I guess, interesting or engaging content right in the onset of the video, you really stand a good chance to have that viewer continue watching the entire video.
Great response. AJ, I hope that answered your question. We're going to get to some more questions here. Dave wrote in, please explain why I should break out my mobile-only campaigns from my normal campaigns. And I know earlier, Eli, you gave 5 really, really great reasons that you went through. Maybe Dave came in late, I'm not sure. But can you just go over those really, really quickly again, those 5 reasons?
Yeah, absolutely. So the main 5 reasons why you want to split out your campaigns is as follows. 1, you improve the campaign performance. Why this happens, I have a few theories, but basically just the mere fact that you go ahead and split out these campaigns, we've seen across the board an average of 11.5% increase to your click-through rate. I think this has to do with the way that ads are being served via our algorithms and Twitch devices, but it seems to work. And so just for that reason alone, I would say go ahead, improve the performance of your account by simply separating out these campaigns. The other things that we talked about were you have more control over bids and budgets. It's important that you have a different budgeting and bidding strategy on your mobile devices because by nature they're a lot different than your desktop campaigns and desktop ads. And so by separating them out, you have that additional, more granular control over that type of advertising. The third thing that we talked about was it gives you the opportunity to tailor your ad creative and keyword list more specifically to mobile. We talked about how mobile user behavior is slightly different than what you would expect to see on desktops. And so by creating different ads and by creating different campaigns, you have the ability to create different ads and different keyword lists that mimic the mobile user behavior, as well as can be more enticing to draw that mobile user to actually click on your ad versus a more generic desktop-like ad. Then the other thing that we talked about was when you have those campaigns separated out, when you see what works for one, you could really go ahead and optimize those campaigns differently. And one of the things that we talk about when you set up mobile campaigns, and a great optimization tool, but it should be even from the onset, is really all those additional ad features. And we'll talk about this in a lot more detail during the next webinar on mobile next month. But there are a lot of great ad features that you can add on to your ads, and you could only really effectively do this if you separate out your campaigns. And then the last benefit of separating out your campaign is you could gain clearer performance insights into how traffic is being generated via mobile devices versus desktop or laptop computers. And you could see, for instance, that mobile you have higher click-through rates and lower CPCs, where if they were all mixed together, you wouldn't be able to detect that, and then you wouldn't be able to know to shift budgets or bids or optimize in a different manner. So I think really those are the 5 reasons, and I think they're pretty compelling to, I know it does require some effort to go ahead and do this, especially if you manage many campaigns. But with the tools that I showed today, I really think that it can be done. It can be done pretty effectively, and the benefits are pretty rewarding.
Agreed. Dave, I hope that answers your question. And don't worry, we did record this entire webinar, and the link will be sent to you later. So if you want to review those, that portion of the webinar that we had already gone over, no problem whatsoever. And Eli, how come you don't have it on the cute little slide with your headshot on there? Come on now. We do have a couple of more questions really fast, because I know we're at the top of the hour right now. So Dave, thank you very much for that. Rodney, by the way, wrote in and he said, great stuff, Eli. So thank you very much for your feedback, Rodney. And AJ wrote in with another question. He said, earlier you suggested 2 times the bid for mobile, but aren't less people bidding, so shouldn't it be less? Eli, I think you just gave an example, right? But
yeah, no, I think that's a very good question. And the reason why we suggest to bid 2 times more, and I just want to preface it by saying that you wouldn't necessarily pay 2 times as more. So I agree, the market is less saturated. There are less people bidding on mobile-only type of campaigns. However, given the fact that there's far fewer ad units that are eligible to serve on a mobile search result page, we talked about how you only have 5 versus 11, and really the most effective ad placements within that mobile search result page are the top 2. So you want to do everything you can to be in those top 2 places. And again, might not be a lot of people out there today, but this is expected to grow. And so one of the key things that's important is today to try to gain as much as performance history as you possibly can. So if today you have to pay a little bit extra premium to win those 2 placements, once you hit those 2 placements and your ads start showing there on the top of the result page, you'll start getting the clicks and the click-through rates, ultimately helping building up that performance history. And then when the market does become more saturated, you already establish yourself as a market leader in that space and have the ability to then not pay that premium anymore, because as you know, you get discounted CPCs based on your past performance. So that's why we recommend go strong from the onset, really try to establish your place in those top results, and then as you start gaining performance history, you can start taper those or dial back those bids and maybe have them a little bit more in line with what you have on desktop.
AJ is loving everything you're saying. He wrote back a few times. He said, so it's about the opportunities. That makes sense. So he thanks you very much for your response, as do I. AJ, if you have a follow-up question, let us know. AJ's I know AJ. He wants to be on the cutting edge of mobile. He'll be on the cutting edge of mobile, believe me. I also want to let you know that Rodney wrote in on our Google Plus and answered the question, I'm looking to win at ZMOT by cross-branding, as in using comparison videos of, let's say, my Ford Fusion compared to a Honda Accord, telling the customer why the Fusion is a better value. That coincides with review search terms.
I love that. I really love that strategy, and I'll tell you why. Because, and I didn't get into too much detail this time, talking about the different use cases of what kind of videos to actually create for YouTube. But one of the best use cases, especially for dealerships, that I always talk about when it comes to YouTube advertising, is really establishing yourself as a matter expert. And so when you, as a dealership, go ahead and create videos explaining the differences between different models and makes and trims, you really establish that you know what you're talking about. So then when I come to make my decision about what dealership to go into, like, hey, wait a minute, I saw this video of these guys, they really know their stuff, I'm going to go pay them a visit versus just a random dealership that I don't know, their level of expertise. So love that idea.
As do I. Thank you very much, Rodney. Love it. And one last question, if you can handle it, Eli. Can you?
Absolutely.
All right. One last question comes from Dave. He says, how do I ensure that my video ad campaign is localized to my market?
Excellent. So we talked about briefly that there's a lot of parity between your AdWords campaigns that you're used to and your video ads. And one of the things that maybe I didn't emphasize enough is that all the same location targeting capabilities that you got so used to with AdWords are available for your video ads. So, you could target your video ads on a national level, on a metro level, on a city level, or even now on a zip code level. So you really have all those opportunities that you have on AdWords, you have for video ads, and really make sure that your video ad is being targeted to your relevant local audience.
Thank you so much, Eli, and thank you, everyone. Your questions were fantastic today, as were your suggestions in answer to our Google Plus questions. So I want to thank everyone for all the participation. I want to also let you know that they're all clapping. That's nice. I want to also let you all know that if you could, please take a moment to fill out the survey that comes on after you leave the webinar. Your feedback is always greatly, greatly appreciated. So first of all, thank you, Eli. That was a really spectacular presentation. Really, seriously, one of the best that I think I've ever seen, and I'm sure that a lot of the attendees today will agree. Yes, they are. They're writing in right now.
I appreciate it, guys. It was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to the next time. And so just happy that it was a valuable, good use of your time, your valuable time, and that you walk away today with some valuable insights.
Prime information. So thank you so much. I know we're a little bit past the top of the hour, so anything that we didn't cover or didn't get to because of the time allotted will be answered by email later today. I want to remind you, of course, we recorded this whole thing. How awesome, right? So we're going to be posting that online, and you will get a link tonight so that you can go and check out the recording, and please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. And we will be posting it also on the DealerOn webinar page at dealeron.com/webinar. And you can also check out our upcoming webinar schedule as well. Invitations will be going out tomorrow for next webinar, 6 CRM strategies guaranteed to maximize revenue, with none other than Bill Wittenmeyer, the Vice President of eLead One. He'll be talking about how there are 6 great steps to selecting and using your CRM specifically to maximize sales and service revenue. And I, for one, I'm completely convinced that CRMs are probably the most underutilized tool that any dealership has. So anything that you can learn to have it make you more money for your dealership is completely awesome. So I really hope all of you will attend for that one. It's going to be another can't-miss presentation by your friends here at DealerOn. Don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are always held every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And we have some really great webinar subjects planned for this year. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding these webinars or our topics, feel free to contact me directly. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I love hearing from you. Track me down online or email me at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and we hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Have yourselves a good one, and I'll see you soon.